Good evening. My name is Levitt Brown, student at William Woods University, studying the Master's in Education program for Athletic Administration and Activities. My presentation today is on fiscal planning. The school's fiscal plan is created with the input of the athletic director, head coaches, and principal. The plan is based on the school's financial policies and manual. The school has historically taken a zero-based model in creating its budget. Its philosophy is that the zero-based budget encourages head coaches to justify their entire budget, which prevents regular budget creeping, and to obtain efficiency. It encourages coaches to look at alternative operation plans. Additionally, budgets are created that provide more meaningful opportunities for its student athletes and budgets that are in full compliance of Title IX. The purpose of the athletic program is to provide a total educational experience. Athletes are exposed to many situations that contributed to learning or participating in athletic programs, which enhance their total educational experience. They will experience the joy of winning and the disappointment of losing, while learning to accept both gracefully. Athletes will learn that fewer goals are attained with ease where hard work and dedication are necessary. The purpose of the athletics is to promote the physical, mental, moral, social, and emotional well-being of the student athlete. The objectives of the athletic program are to provide physical activity that will increase strength, skill, coordination, overall fitness, and good health for our students. It is also to encourage the student participation in athletics and help develop positive mental attitudes toward competition, school, and the community. To teach the student to accept the many responsibilities of his or her participation. And to teach sportsmanship, pride, school spirit, and fair play so the student may always keep winning and losing in its proper perspective. The athlete should first strive for the goals of the team and consider his or her personal goals second. And finally, to teach that hard work, diligence, and supreme effort are ingredients for success. Zero-based budget model is being followed. The definition is that at the beginning of every budget planning period, the previous year's budget for each athletic program is clear. Every part of the institution must re-request funding levels, and all spending must be re-justified. The philosophic considerations for choosing a budget model is that it is an effective way of controlling for unnecessary costs. Coaches will not have the mindset of entitlement to funds or the mentality. Potential to make budget discussions are more meaningful. All monies allocated to program has to have a purpose, and it keeps waste and discretionary spending to a minimum. The budget process. Athletic budgets are established for each fiscal year through the school's budgeting procedures per the Fiscal Policies and Procedures Manual. During the fall semester, the athletic director, school's business manager, and the principal prepare a proposed budget for the fiscal year. The proposed budget is then submitted to the board of directors for submissions into the school's budget. The proposed budget is based on the expected revenues and expenses for the upcoming year. Additionally, the athletic department budget is based on a zero-based budget model, which aims to justify resource allocations in an individual budget scheme, regardless of the prior period budgets. It is not based on historical data and begins each budget period afresh. The budget is first allocated as a zero unless the head coach responsible for that particular program makes a case for expansion, resource allocations. The head coach must justify the reasons for the financial resource allocation. Each budget item is queried as if it were new before any financial resources are allocated. All department budget transactions require approval as follows. The head coach or designee approves the use of funds for requested items. They are responsible for the operations within the approved budget. The head coach should maintain accurate records in order to track the availability of funds and to ensure they can complete the fiscal year with the funds allotted. Each coach or designee may utilize the assistance of the school's administrative assistants or their designee to maintain their budgets. The athletic director or designee verifies funds available in the budget, approves all budget transactions to assure the expenses revenues are in the best interest of the athletic department, student athletes, and the school's fiscal policies. The principal of the school has the final approval for all budget transactions made by the athletic department. The annual budget approval policy. The athletic director will work together with head coaches of each program to ensure that the annual budget is an accurate reflection of the program goals for the coming year. The athletic director and principal will ensure that the budget is developed using the school's standard policy for cost allegations. The athletic director and the principal will present a final draft to the finance committee at least 60 days prior to the end of the fiscal year and at least 30 days prior to its submission to the full board of directors. The finance committee shall review and approve a recommended fiscal year budget and submit it for approval to the board of directors. The statement on controlling costs of programs. Kemah Public Charter School uses the zero-based budgeting, which is a way of controlling for unnecessary costs. Athletic programs will not receive automatic amount of sum of money. All money allocated to a program has a purpose, which keeps waste at a minimum. Head coaches of their programs are responsible for making sure expenditures are in direct correlation with the approved expenditures for their specific programs. If a head coach is unsure about a particular expenditure, that concern should be brought to the athletic director's or designee's attention. All program expenditures must be signed by the athletic director. The athletic director, per policy, is responsible for the constant monitoring of the approved budget. Coaches are required to report monthly to the athletic director its expenditures. Coaches will be held responsible for non-approved expenditures by their programs. The athletic director will submit to the principal quarterly actual expenses of the athletic department versus budgeted expenses. It is the athletic director's responsibility to continuously communicate to the head coaches of all programs the importance of adhering to their budget. Statement of handling donations and community support monies. Many times throughout the year, the athletic department receives donations of items at no cost and monies to its program. These donations are referred to as gift in kind or payment in kind. Donors must have documentation in order to receive credit for tax purposes. Also, the athletic department must track these donations in order to assure the donors receive all contributions benefits allowed, and to report revenues accurately to Kemah Public Charter School and the Board of Directors and other agencies as required by the Board of Directors, federal and state laws. According to the school's policy, all donations and or community support monies will be handled by the athletic director or designee. The athletic director is responsible for reporting all funds from all parties, donors, including staff members responsible for those specific accounts, the finance committee, and board of directors. The athletic department will then submit the approved donation list to the finance committee. The athletic department designee will submit the approved summary of donation transactions for posting to the donor database. The athletic department designee will post the donations to the donor records and prepare a thank you letter for mailing. The thank you letter must be signed by either the athletic director or principal prior to mailing. Also, forms must be utilized. You would either utilize the gift in kind donation form or the payment in kind form, and it must be completed in order to ensure the donation is credited to the proper accounts. After completion and submission of the forms, when accepting donations, the athletic staff must complete the proper form and submit to the athletic director as follows: the date or the enter date of the transaction, the area or sport donation is being made to, the donation, who the donation was received from, and a description of the donation. Statement on handling of donations and community support monies. Many times throughout the year, the athletic department receives donations of items at no cost, monies to its programs. These donations are referred to as gifts in kind or payment in kind. Donors must have documentation in order to receive credit for tax purposes. Also, the athletic department must track these donations in order to assure the donors receive all contribution benefits allowed, and to report revenues accurately to the Kemet Public Charter School and the Board of Directors and other agencies as required by the Board of Directors, federal and state laws. According to the school's policy, all donations and or community support monies will be handled by the athletic director or designee. The athletic director is responsible for reporting of funds from all parties, donors, including staff members responsible for those specific accounts, the finance committee and board of directors. The athletic department would then submit the approved donation list to the finance committee. The athletic department designee will submit the approved summary of donation transactions for posting to the donor database. The athletic department designee will post the donations to the donor records and prepare a thank you letter for mailing. The thank you letter must be signed by either the athletic director or principal prior to mailing. Forms must be utilized. The forms could either state the gift in kind donation or an payment in kind form must be completed in order to ensure donations is credited to the proper account. Completion and submission of forms when accepting donations, the athletic staff member must complete the proper form and submit it to the athletic director as follows. Statement describing basic philosophy on seeking outside funding. Kemet Public Charter School's philosophy concerning individual athletic programs seeking outside funding is of a supportive nature. We believe that programs seeking outside support demonstrates a willingness for that program to raise funds that will help that particular program better its program. The school's policy, however, is that all outside requests for funding meet the approval of the athletic department. This policy prevents duplication of donations from donors. The program expansion philosophy. Our philosophy is that we encourage program expansion. Our philosophy is that it provides more educational opportunities for student athletes. The request for program expansion must be justified by the head coach, however, and all program expansions are based on educational opportunities and program needs. And additionally, the athletic department recognizes that program expansion is sometimes necessary. An example would be to be in full compliance with Title IX. Program participant fundraising guidelines. All fundraisers must be conducted through the athletic department. A concerted effort must be made by staff and sports programs to secure sufficient income from any fundraiser prior to payment of any expenses. Any staff member conducting a fundraiser must have approval by the athletic director. The philosophy of fundraisers is that by working together programs, this will eliminate duplication of contacting the same donors. Concerning our concession fundraisers, contracted food services has the right to sell concessions at all events. However, contractors may permit specific programs to conduct concession sales. In conclusion, fiscal planning is an important tool in the athletic department. It's a business. It gives the athletic director the opportunity to communicate to the head coaches the importance of adhering to the budget. It also gives the athletic director the opportunity to communicate to the coaches the philosophy of not only the athletic department, but the school's philosophy as well. The benefit of zero budgeting is an effective way of controlling for unnecessary costs. Since programs do not automatically receive a certain sum each year, all money allocated to a program has a purpose, keeping waste and discretionary spending to a minimum. The only drawback is that zero-based budgets take longer to prepare.